Picture this. You've finally found the perfect buyer for your car. They've got the cash in hand, they're ready to make a deal right this second. But when you open up your safe to get the paperwork, your heart just completely sinks. The title is totally missing. Look, if you're a Pennsylvania resident, you might be feeling a massive wave of panic right about now. But don't stress. In today's Explainer, we're going to dive right into solving this incredibly stressful scenario, and we'll transform what feels like a bureaucratic nightmare into a totally smooth, manageable process.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover why you actually need your title. Second, which form to grab. Third, a step-by-step guide to filling it out. Fourth, choosing your application method. Fifth, those tricky special scenarios. And finally, a quick wrap-up and legal disclaimer.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, why you need your title, the legal realities in PA. So if you're caught without your title during a pending sale, a trade-in at a dealership, or maybe you're packing up for an out-of-state move, you are legally stuck. You can't just scribble a bill of sale on a napkin and hand over the keys. According to PennDOT, if an original certificate of title is lost, stolen, defaced, destroyed, or if you simply never got it in the mail, it has to be legally voided and replaced before you can do absolutely anything with that vehicle. Think of the PA Certificate of Title as the ultimate proof. It's your primary legal document establishing your absolute ownership interest. It also verifies that there are any secured creditors, meaning any banks or lenders that might still have a lien on the car. In Pennsylvania, without this piece of paper in hand, you cannot legally sell, trade, or transfer ownership, period. And there's a good reason for it. The state system is directly tied to a massive federal database designed to prevent fraud and stop people from buying stolen vehicles. That's exactly why the rules are so strict. Moving right along to Section 2, which form do you need? Matching your status to the paperwork. PennDOT has very specific documents to make sure the right legal declarations are recorded. This chart is basically your cheat sheet. If you're an individual or a business vehicle owner, you use Form MV38O. If you're a lender or a financial institution, you're using Form MV38L. And if you're a licensed PA motor vehicle dealer, you need Form MV30D. Make sure you get this right, because submitting the wrong form is an absolute guarantee for rejection. For most of us, the everyday vehicle owners, you're going to use the MV380. When you pull this up on the PennDOT website, it's actually pretty straightforward. You'll see clear sections for your personal info, the vehicle's details, and why you're making the request. It looks formal, sure, but it is totally manageable once you gather your info. Which brings us to Section 3, the step-by-step guide, filling out Form MV38O. Here is your exact game plan for tackling this application. Step 1, round up all your vehicle and ID details. Step 2, carefully fill out Sections A and B. Step 3, sign it with the proper legal verification. And Step 4, send it off with the required state fee. Let's break those down a bit more. For Section A, grab a pen and make sure you have your 17-character VIN, your unique title number, and your PA driver's license or photo ID number ready to go. Now, if the car is owned by a business, you'll need the Employer Identification Number, or EIN, instead. Then in Section B, you just check the box that explains exactly what happened to the original title. Was it lost, destroyed, stolen, defaced, or did it just never show up in the mail? All right, let's talk money. You have to include the standard $72 duplicate title fee. Now, listen closely. PennDOT does not accept cash through the mail. You have to make a check or money order out to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But there is a handy little exception. If your original title was lost in the mail and you're applying within 90 days of when it was issued, they actually waive that $72 fee entirely. And here is a massive win for us. Thanks to Act 15, which was passed back in 2020, you don't necessarily have to hunt down a physical notary public anymore. You can often just use an unsworn declaration under penalty of perjury. In the past, you had to physically sit in front of a notary and pay for their stamp. So this modern update literally saves you time and money. Next up, Section 4, choosing your application method, mail versus in-person. You've basically got two choices here depending on how fast you need this. You can mail it in, which is definitely the cheapest road. Just pop your paperwork and that $72 check into an envelope and send it to P.O. Box 68593 in Harrisburg. The downside, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks. If you can't wait that long, you can go in person to an authorized PennDOT agent or messenger. They upload your data instantly, which speeds things up big time. But just be aware they will charge you their own private service fee on top of the state's $72. Now, what if you are in an absolute panic, like the buyer is literally waiting in your driveway? You need to know that the Harrisburg Riverfront office is the only location in the entire state of Pennsylvania that prints same-day duplicate titles. You can't just walk into a local DMV or tag agent and get a physical title printed on the spot. They all have to request it from Harrisburg anyway.
All right, let's look at Section 5, Special Scenarios and FAQs, Edge Cases and Troubleshooting.
One of the biggest roadblocks we see involves car loans. If you finance your car, the original title went straight to your lender. So if you just paid off that loan, you can't just ask for a duplicate title right away. You must include a notarized lien release letter from your bank, or have the lender physically fill out Section D of the MV30O form to prove the debt is cleared. If you skip this, PennDOT will absolutely reject your application. Here's another really common hurdle. What if you've already moved out of state, but your car is still registered back in PA? A lot of people assume they're just out of luck, but you can actually still request a PA duplicate title from your new home state. PennDOT will totally mail your duplicate out of state, but their security is super tight on this. You have to provide a copy of your new out-of-state driver's license, plus proof of residency like a utility bill, a bank statement, or a tax record. And here's the absolute kicker. The out-of-state address on that piece of mail, your ID, and your application form must match perfectly. No typos, no variations. Also, you need to know about a built-in delay in PennDOT's system. They enforce a mandatory 10-day waiting period. Their computers will automatically reject any duplicate request made within 10 days of an original title being processed or an electronic lien being released. So if you literally just made your final car payment yesterday, hold your horses. Wait a couple of weeks before filing for your new title.
Almost done. Section 6, Wrap-Up and Legal Disclaimer, Final Steps and Important Notice.
Let's recap how to make this completely painless. Always double-check your form for errors. A simple misspelled name can cause weeks of delays. Verify that your lien is officially cleared in PennDOT's system before you apply. If you've moved, update your address with PennDOT before you submit the form. If your title was just defaced or damaged, you actually have to mail the ruined original in with your application. And finally, if you're mailing this in, spend the extra $2 on trackable shipping so you know for sure it landed in Harrisburg. Now, before we wrap, just a quick mandatory reality check. While this explainer is packed with well-researched details taken directly from official guidelines, it does not constitute official legal advice. Things change, like state laws and that $72 fee. Always consult PennDOT's official resources or a legal professional for personalized guidance that fits your exact situation. Getting a replacement title honestly doesn't have to be a nightmare. Now you've got the exact forms, the fee structures, and the inside scoop on how to dodge those common pitfalls. You're completely ready to take control. So gather those documents and take that first step toward peace of mind today. But, it really does make you wonder. With everything moving digital these days, how much longer will physical paper titles even exist before they're just a thing of the past? Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and good luck getting back out on the road.